There's something that happens when you feel the pull to speak some things out into the world that challenge the belief of a large mass of people. And most people who are willing to do that, they aren't fooling themselves. At least they shouldn't be. They know they're going to get some pushback. I certainly expect it. I fully expect religious people to try and pull me back into alignment with their scriptures and their prophets and their shame. And it's kind of old and it's quite boring for me. But I am going to say this, and I totally am saying this truthfully. If you are convinced that you need your religion in order to be a good person, please do us all a favor and stay in your religion. But you need to realize that not everyone needs that. Many people are capable of building their own infrastructure and living a life of impeccable integrity. And I know this for a fact because that's what I do, is I help people come into alignment with their own design and remind them of their own design. And because in my own diligence in my life to seek the truth, I've always been a truth seeker, but I've read Christian doctrine repeatedly over a lifetime, and I'm not confused. I'm free. And if I don't align with your dogma or your creed, I really don't care. I'm not trying to, nor do I need you to align with mine. I mean, LDS scriptures, LDS people especially are going to warn you about people like me because they don't want you to know how to set yourself free. It's so strange how people will say things like, if you don't believe in my religion the way I do, then you must not even believe in God. Like, who or what taught you to generate that conclusion? And why would you assign that to people? I mean, that you have to think about God the right way so that we can be saved, so that we can make him happy, as if that's our one and only job, is to make God happy. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I believe about God so that you don't have to make up stories about what people like me believe. And I'm going to tell you right now, there are more of us than you might expect. In fact, there's more people that believe in God this way on the planet than there ever has been. So I don't believe in a God that religion feeds us. A limiting God, an emotionally wrathful God, an emotionally absent God, a God somewhere out there that I have to perform for or get him to love me or qualify for his kingdom, or a God that I have to be interviewed and tested by my neighbor who I'm supposed to call my bishop or my judge in Israel. I mean, that whole thing and the Zionism thing is really troubling to me right now. And I just wanted you to know, I don't believe in a God that sent his son to be violently sacrificed in order for me to have an experience as a human being. I'm not buying into that. And I don't believe in a punishing God, and I don't believe in a vacant God, and I don't believe in a God that justifies killing civilizations just to reposition other civilizations. I'm not into that. And I don't believe in a God, for example, that tosses Jonah out into the sea to punish him because he didn't want to go to Nineveh. And never mind the whole whale aspect of that story. I don't believe in those things. I don't believe in a God who chooses men who abuse women and children or suck all these kinds of actions, or who deals in human trafficking and then calls it the new and everlasting covenant. I don't believe in those kind of men arrange disclosure agreements to hide systemic abuse in the church. And I don't believe that God chooses those men for his mouthpiece. And I don't believe in a punitive God or a punishing God or a pressuring God. And I don't care who says it, and I don't care what book it came from. I think these things are taught to us by men, by bad men who seek control, and men who like to dominate over other men, and men who, quite frankly, don't care for us. But men who are fully aware of our power and they want to harness it and they want to dominate it and they want to control it. So let me clear this up. I don't mean that women don't have problems. So please don't come at me with this idea that I'm unaware that women have problems too. There are certainly nasty women in our world, but women aren't the ones that are writing scriptures. And even when they do, they usually get burned or lost. So I'm not talking about all men or the men in general. And I definitely don't hate men. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing someone could say about me who knows me. I am surrounded by amazing men in my life. I'm talking about men who prefer to dominate and control, and men who feel entitled and who clamber to the top of hierarchies. And I'm talking about this certain kind of species of men. And those men are missing something that's really vital to our humanity, and that's empathy. And those men would like to rob all men of their empathy, and they would like to exploit the empathy of women. In fact, the God those men have gave us is empty of our most vital essence, and it's empty of love and empty of compassion and empty of beauty and empty of care. And so are many of their scriptures. And they've been defining our God for centuries, for millennium. And we let them because woven into these religious stories is the fear to challenge their narrative. I mean, how dare you? Who do you think you are to challenge the narrative of the Bible? Oh, who do you think you're better than Moses, better than Paul, better than Joseph Smith? And they think they're the only ones with the power and the authority to speak for God. And meanwhile, their books become our compass rather than our own hearts. And their altars become our temples rather than our own body. And their idols distract us from the divine within. And those men tell us that we are sinners, that we are whores, and that we are fallen, and that we are broken, and that we're the dust of the earth. And I think that's because the people who don't trust themselves are easily controlled. I do believe that Jesus once lived, or maybe he's just an archetype, but he was a pretty damn profound one at that. And he represents what those empires of nasty men will do to you if you rise up and teach others to do the same. And he was a radical insurrectionist, as the story goes. And I don't believe Jesus had to die as a martyr or a vicarious sacrificial lamb to a God who needed his blood as some form of redemption or ransom. Yeah, I'm not buying that. That's a storyline from the species of men who are obsessed with bloodlines and blood and human sacrifice. That's not me. That's not for me. I believe in a God that's more evolved than that. And regardless, you need to decide for yourself if you're born dirty or if you're born holy. And if you haven't seen a newborn baby recently, the least you can conclude from that experience is that we are born innocent. I believe we were born sacred. And I believe that we still are. And I think that there's not anything that could change that. I think Jesus on the cross isn't a token of God's love. No. That is a symbol. It's a threat, and it's a reminder of what's going to happen to you if you have the courage to teach other people the things that I'm telling you right now. He was put on the cross as a warning. I don't believe God commissioned that at all. I believe nasty men did that. The men in power murdered him. And then they told you that it was for your sake. and that you needed to look to the cross for your own salvation so that you would never think to access that within yourself. They want you to focus on the crucifixion so that you won't focus on his life or his words, or at least the ones that haven't been altered yet. Those words invited you to be one with the divine and to love one another and to love your holy self. He told you that the kingdom of God was within you and that greater things that you will do than he did when you remember who you are. Yeah, I believe in God. But in my journey into the mystery of all that means, and as I tap out of the books that I was given as a child and I tune into my own heart, a different story emerges. It's a far more expansive story. It's a story that just keeps unfolding and expanding beyond galaxies and beyond dimensions and beyond limitations and beyond time and space. I mean, it's a God that doesn't fit into words. Yet that God somehow fits into me. And it's a God that knows me and loves me and invites me to love myself too and include myself in the creation and in the equation. And it's a God that invites me into the sanctity of my own temple and my own healing and my own sanctuary so that he can communicate with me. And it's a God who's always there if I'm tuned in. He's always soothing me, always holding, always waiting, and always smiling. I see God in art. I see God in beauty. I see God in the eyes and the faces of people who can soften after hard things have happened. And I hear God in the wind, and I hear it in the tide, and I hear it in the dance of nature. And I feel God pumping in my blood and digesting my food. I don't know how to do that, but it happens every day. And trillions of these cells in my body and strands of DNA, it's alive with God. And as a mother of 5 children, I felt God growing inside of me. And I saw God open me up. And I certainly don't know how to dilate myself. I didn't do that. That was God. And I saw God staring back at me through my children in my own arms. Yeah, I do believe in God. Oh, yes, I do. And I just don't believe in the God that they want me to. And so they can call me lost, and they can call me deceived, and they can call me confused. Meanwhile, you're going to find me worshiping under the trees and dancing under the moon and cuddling a body or petting an animal or laughing with friends and feeling the water on my skin and basking in every beat of my heart and every breath of my body. Because I'm here to create. And I'm here to play, and I'm here to be curious, and I'm here to help, and I'm here to lift, and I'm here to cry, and I'm here to scream, and I'm here to be angry, and I'm here to be excited, and I'm here to be sad, and I'm here to grieve, and I'm here to feel, because I want to feel it all. That's what I signed up for, and I don't want to miss the God in me while I'm trying to fit into the God that they sold me. Because God is love, and God is life. And God is in me, and God is in you. And you get to choose what you're going to do about that. In fact, you already have been choosing. You are a creator. You are the creator of your thoughts and your feelings. They're informing you, your emotions. It's information from God. It's your body and your mind, and your relationships reflect that. And you're all of that. And so, no, I'm not sitting in their pews, and I'm not kneeling at their altars, and I'm not scouring over their books and their stories, or begging for mercy from their God and their creations. No, I'm too busy creating my own world And I'm not afraid of what God's going to do to me, that I have this much audacity. No, I'm more interested in becoming what God wants to manifest through me. It's time to wake up, my friends. It's time to remember who we are. And it's time to let go of that old story, that dark, dark world and that dark, dark story, so that we can create a better one together. And that's what I believe.